So those are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. And with that in mind, I want to know, who feels like they're focusing on the wrong platform today? Anyone? We got 1. Who feels like they're focusing on too many? Yeah. So my challenge to you today on platforms, pick one and do it really, really, really well. Make sure you're picking the right one. Now, once you've done that, we move on to what I call the 3 pillars of success. Part 1, content. How are you going to attract and educate them once they find you? Part 2, engagement. How are you going to get seen by the right people in the platform? And then once you're ready, once you feel like either I have budget for this, and so I can make sure that I allocate it appropriately, or I've built enough following that it's time to start running paid ads, we'll layer in paid. But for today and the rest of this seminar, we're going to focus on content and engagement. And the first one being content. And I want to ask you, why do you think most people are on social media? What are they trying to accomplish? What do we think? Yeah.
I would say probably like entertainment or like killing time.
Entertainment, killing time. Yep, definitely. What else? What else are we doing on social?
Education.
Discovery, education. Yeah. When we look at how people spend their time, we find that there's really only 3 areas here that they're spending on anything related to shopping or trying to find information around services that you might have. So 26% of them are finding inspiration for things to do and buy. 26% of them are saying they're looking for products to purchase. And 22 of them like seeing content from brands that they follow. Everything else here is personal time that has nothing to do with I want to shop, or I want to discover, or I want to go buy. The top one, keeping in touch with friends and family. And then fill in spare time. So a lot of the things that people want to be doing on social media are things that don't necessarily jive with content that businesses create around what they do and who they are and how they can help. So the kind of challenge that brands have to give themselves is, how do I find a unique way to fit into one of these buckets? How do I become like friends and family that they want to keep in touch with? How do I, make sure that I'm relevant in the news stories, and giving them something interesting to read about in the news, or, live streams of things that are interesting to watch? So that's the challenge that we have as business owners with our marketing hat. And we also have the challenge of algorithms. The unpublished algorithms that are never, ever static. They're always changing, but at the end of the day, there are 4 things that typically drive every social media algorithm to think about. One is engagement. So am I getting likes, comments, and shares of my content? And I bolded comments and shares there because comments and shares are really what drives social media and the algorithm. If you can show that people want to start a conversation with you by commenting, or want to start a conversation with someone else by sharing it, they're going to rank your content a lot higher and show it to more people. So we want to think about, when we create content, how are we creating that engagement? They look at relevance. So if you're not following other accounts that have to do with the types of people that you want to be engaging with, so what accounts do your customers follow? Then they're not going to serve them up to the same people. So you want to go make sure that all the people you follow are also people that your potential customers want to follow. All the people that you engage with are also people your potential customers want to. And that gives the algorithm the signal that these 2 things are the same. So I'm going to serve up this content to these types of people. Timeliness is important. So how often are you posting? When are you posting? When are people most active? So like if you're posting on LinkedIn, the time of day to do that is not in the middle of the workday when everyone is busy and not on their phones, right? I find that on LinkedIn, if I post early in the morning, during the lunch hour, or late at night, I get a much better response than if I post in the middle of my workday when I have time to actually make the LinkedIn post. Because that's when people are sitting at home scrolling and have time to browse, right? On the flip side of that, let's say you're trying to reach an older generation. That's not a 9 p.m. post time, right? They're probably not going to respond as well if you're reaching them when they're trying to wind down and not be thinking about whatever it is that you're trying to, educate them on or share with them. So timeliness is really important. And then content type, playing to the platform. So if you're on, let's say, TikTok or Instagram, that means that you really need to be playing into short form video. And if you go into most Instagram pages and you scroll through all of the posts someone makes that's doing really, really well on that platform, you'll notice almost everything is a reel. And that's because that's what Instagram is rewarding right now. That's the content type they want to see more of. They want short form video. So you have to think about what types of content go well on the platform and how do we create content like that? And then algorithm will reward you for it.